Hari Ram, Amiya Vilasa. Amala Hari Ram, Amiya Vilasa. Vritina Purandara Navina Nagara Gora. Vritina Purandara Navina Nagara Gora. Vamsi Vadana Suvasa. Janapalana Surakula Nashana Janapalana Surakula Nashana Nanda Godana Rakhavala Nanda Godana Rakhavala Govinda Madhava Navanita Daskara Govinda Madhava Navanita Daskara Sundara Nanda Gopala Sundara Nanda Gopala Bolo Yashomati Nanda Rajavarnagara Yashomati Nanda Rajavarnagara Yashomati Nanda Rajavarnagara Yashomati Nanda Rajavarnagara Gokula Ranjana Kana Gokula Ranjana Kana Yamuna Tattachar Gopi Vasana Hara Yamuna Tattachar Gopi Vasana Hara Rasa Rasika Kripa Maya Rasa Rasika Kripa Maya Shri Radha Vallabha Vrindavana Natavara 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 Bhakti Vinoda Ashraya Bhakti Vinoda Ashraya Yashomati Nandana Vrajavarnagara Yashomati Nandana Vrajavarnagara Gokula Ranjana Kana Gokula Ranjana Kana Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare 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 Ram, Ram Ram, Hare 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 Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare 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 Ram, Ram Ram, Hare 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 Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare 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 Ram, Ram Ram, Hare 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 Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare 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 Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare Jai Radha Govinda, Radha Govinda Shri Radhe Radha Govinda, Radha Govinda Shri Radhe Jai Radha Damodar, Radha Damodar Shri Radhe Radha Damodar, Radha Damodar Shri Radhe Jai Radha Madan Mohan, Radha Madan Mohan Shri Radhe Radha Madan Mohan, Radha Madan Mohan Shri Radhe Jaya Giri Govardhan, Giri Govardhan, Giri Govardhan, Jaya Giri Govardhan, Giri Govardhan, Giri Govardhan, Giri Govardhan, Jaya Giri Govardhan, Jaya Jaya श्री भक्ति विनोद ठाकुर की जय।
Lord Krishna is the beloved son of Mother Yashoda, the transcendental lover in the land of Vraja, the delight of Gokula, Kana, a nickname of Krishna, the wealth of the lives of gopis. He steals the mind of even Cupid and punishes the Kaliya serpent.
These pure holy names of Lord Hari are full of sweet nectarian pastimes. Krishna is the Lord of the 12 forests of Braja. He is ever youthful and is the best of lovers. He is always playing on a flute and he is an excellent dresser.
Krishna is the protector of the inhabitants of Raja, the destroyer of various demoniac dynasties, the keeper and tender of Nanda Maharaj cows, the giver of pleasure to the cows, land and spiritual senses, the husband of the goddess of fortune, the butter thief and the beautiful cowherd boy of Nanda Maharaj.
Krishna wanders along the banks of the river Yamuna. He stole the garments of young damsels of Raja who were bathing there. He delights in the mellows of rasa dance. He is very merciful, the lover and the beloved of Srimati Radharani, the great dancer of Vrindavan and the shelter and the only refuge of Thakur Bhakti Vinod. शिला भक्ति विनोद ठाकुर की जय।
Hare Krishna. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padkamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamsha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvatam Stam Sajivam Sa Advaitam Sa Avadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvatamsha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pasat Deshatarane Nityanandam Maham Nomi Sarvananda Karam Param Harinama Pradam Devam Avadhuta Shiromani Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate
कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नामने गौरतुषे नमः। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगत्पते गोपेशा गोपिका कांता राधा कांता नमोस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरि प्रिये। नीलाचल निवासाय नित्याय परमात्मने बलभद्र सुभद्राभ्यं जगन्नाथाय ते नमः। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। मूकं करोति वाचालं पंगुं लङ्घायते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुदीनतारिणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्य ईश्वरम्। Hare Krishna. So yesterday we all discussed and saw how Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is so kind, so loving, so merciful that He has arranged everything wonderful in our lives to be happy by creating wonderful spiritual world, which is for all of us to be happy, by creating this world because we thought that we will become happy by living independent of Krishna. So then Krishna created this material world. That okay, you want to try to enjoy independent of me, then Krishna created the material world that you try your level best. And and in this world also, when a living entity comes and he makes his false attempts to enjoy, and he is thoroughly frustrated in all his attempts to enjoy, then Krishna is so kind and merciful. He arranges continuous efforts. He does continuous efforts, so that the living entity can come and understand how he can go back to his eternal happiness, eternal happy position, and back to spiritual world. So constantly Krishna is creating so many efforts, and one of the efforts yesterday we were seeing is Srimad Bhagavatam, the scripture which is describing wonderful description of a spiritual world. When you read and hear about a spiritual world, Prabhupada said what? We should become captivated by these descriptions, that this is so wonderful, so attractive. Yes, I want to go back. Right. So the scriptures, the scriptures gives the advertisement, right? Advertisement. So when you read the advertisement, what you are supposed to do? Supposed to take in the product, right? And Krishna himself comes to this material world and performs many pastimes, which is like, which is like trailer, right? कोई मूवी होता है, मूवी के लिए क्या होता है? एक ट्रेलर होता है ना. तो ट्रेलर देखकर क्या होना चाहिए? एक अट्रैक्शन आना चाहिए, अरे ये मूवी तो देखना है मेरे को, कब रिलीज हो रहा है, मेरे को डेट बताओ इसका. Right? So one becomes very eager to watch the movie. So similarly, Krishna descends in this world, and he performs pastimes which is like a trailer, right? And वो ट्रेलर दिखाकर चले जाते हैं वापस भगवत धाम, so that the jiva, living entity in this world, can become attracted and would like to watch the full movie. मैं सिर्फ 10 मिनट 5 कितने ट्रेलर कितने मिनट का होता है? 3 मिनट, 3-4 मिनट का है ना, 3-4 मिनट का ट्रेलर, वो देखकर ऐसा अट्रैक्शन होता है कि नाउ आई वांट टू सी द full movie. Similarly, Krishna performs a small pastime, maybe sometimes one day pastime like Narasimhadev, sometimes 100 years pastime, sometimes 1000 years pastime. But then he performs pastimes and goes back, so that the jivas can become attracted and want to desire to watch the full movie which is there in the spiritual world. You can be with Krishna and perform these pastimes eternally. So hence, yesterday we discussed these topics of how its spiritual world is so wonderful and is free from all kinds of lust. See, lust means what? Exploitative tendency. When you want to enjoy, you want to exploit others. And all of us, we can see in our heart of heart, we want to be in a place where no one exploits me. Yes or no? How many of you feel that I want to be in a place where people don't have exploitative mentality? कितने लोग को लगता है ऐसी जगह आप रहना चाहते हैं, ऐसे लोगों के साथ रहना चाहते हैं? But in material world, how much ever you may try, how much ever people in this world may try to advertise, see, हम बहुत अच्छे लोग हैं, हम बहुत आपके साथ बहुत अच्छा करेंगे and everything. But in a heart of heart, you clearly know कि जो भी advertise कर रहे हैं, whatever advertisement is given, let's say वो लिखा हुआ advertisement में, just for you, there will be 5,000 rupees का सामान आपको 500 रुपए में मिल जाएगा, right? Even when you read the advertisement, you know in your heart of heart very well that उसका कुछ तो है. There must be some ulterior motives that he is doing all these things, है ना? ऐसे ही तो कुछ कोई करेगा नहीं, तो कुछ तो उसका रहेगा, कि वो ऐसा एडवर्टीजमेंट दे रहा है ना. सो ऑलवेज देयर इज सम एक्सप्लॉयटेटिव मेंटालिटी. नो वन विल बी डूइंग सम चैरिटी लाइक दिस, ले लो चैरिटी, हम आप ऐसे ही आपको फ्री में सब दे रहे हैं. ऐसा कोई जगत में होता ही नहीं है, राइट? यस और नो? एनीवन डूइंग सच थिंग, देयर मस्ट बी समथिंग, कुछ तो कर क्या रहा है, कुछ तो कर रहा है, कुछ ना कुछ तो इसके अंदर है. So actually, why this exploitative mentality is there in people's heart? Because there is lust. Okay. Till the time people have lust in their heart, even if they say that we are doing welfare activity, that will be tinged with some exploitative tendency. 100%. Only a person who is free from lust, and lust means not just bhukti kami. Now obviously in this world we experience bhukti kami, but lust also means mukti kami. Right? Bhukti, mukti, siddhi, kami, sakale ashanta. So someone desiring bhukti, that is material happiness, someone desiring mukti, that is freedom from suffering of this world, or someone desiring siddhi, that is some mystic siddhic perfections. All of them are called as kami, lusty fellows. They are lusties. So till the time we associate with any of these people, you can't be, or you are with such people, you can't be, free from this anxiety of being exploited. So, and hence we want to go to a place where no one has that tendency. Yes or no? Right? And that place is only, what is that place? Spiritual world. Hari Bol. Okay. Then second point is that how many of us feel that, Prabhu, I also don't want to exploit others, but somehow or the other मेरे अंदर भी कभी कभी ऐसा टेंडेंसी आ जाता है कि मैं कुछ करता हूँ जिससे कि मुझे कुछ मिल जाए. पर मैं सच में ऐसा चाहता नहीं हूँ. I want to be free from this exploitative mentality myself also. How many of you feel? कि मैं भी प्रभु जी, ना तो मैं एक्सप्लॉइट होना चाहता हूँ, ना मैं एक्सप्लॉइट किसी को करना चाहता हूँ. कुछ लोग हो सकते हैं एक्सप्लॉइट होना नहीं चाहते, मेरे ख्याल से सभी लोग बोलेंगे, पर एक्सप्लॉइट करना नहीं चाहते, ऐसा नहीं होगा. आई डोंट वांट टू बी एक्सप्लॉइटेड, बट यस आई एम हैप्पी टू एक्सप्लॉइट अदर्स. But once you become little bit more pure, you understand that no, not only I don't want to be exploited, but also I don't want to exploit others. I don't feel I will be happy by exploiting others. Right? And hence, not only we want to be with people who are free from lust, we also want to be free from lust. And actually only when you are free from lust, you can be with the people who are free from lust. And hence, that place is what? A spiritual world. And hence the qualification to go back to the spiritual world is also that you should become free from lust, right? Because that place is for people who have no exploitative mentality, who simply want to help genuinely and serve others, in a real way. That is spiritual world. And hence yesterday we also saw that not only it is free from lust, it is free from envy. It's free from envy. That means because people have no tendency that mera kya hoga, selfishness, self-centeredness not there. So that's why people are not thinking, oh, just see, yesterday we were discussing about the bee. अरे बी क्या एकदम बगल में कृष्ण के गार्डन में बैठ कर ये बैठा हुआ है, हम लाइक पीकॉक इज थिंकिंग, अरे हमको इतना दूर रख दिया है. बी इज सो क्लोज टू कृष्ण एंड पीकॉक इज थिंकिंग आई एम सो फार फ्रॉम कृष्ण. व्हाट इज दिस? Peacock is not thinking like that. Peacock is thinking what? Oh, this bee is so wonderful, so fortunate, that he is with Krishna. So she glorifies. Peacock will glorify the glories of the bee and will be happy to serve the bee, right? Because and will be happy to stop singing to hear what bee is saying. That bee is glorifying Krishna. Let me hear, right? Without having any envy or any inferiority complex or pride and all this kind of stuff, right? So none of these qualities are there, and it is so attractive. It is so attractive. This is how spiritual world is. And also yesterday we discussed one more point based on the question which was raised, that personal. In a spiritual world, Krishna values every single living entity, right? It's not that. It's not like the material world. People consider each other as resource, human resource, and we enter into a corporate sector and we just become part of a equation, right? Okay, इतना लोग है कंपनी में, इतना लोग है, इतना लोग चाहिए. So it's very very impersonalistic concept in this material world, that humans are considered simply as resource and not given the individual value, right? So hence the spiritual world is not such a place. Spiritual world, each and every living entity has a unique and personal relationship with Krishna, right? Everyone is personally connected to Krishna, and Krishna values everyone's unique contribution. Everyone is unique, right? We were discussing yesterday that in this material world we can also experience, सब लोग, आप जितने लोग के साथ रहते हो, जितने भी लोग से आपने आज तक इंटरेक्ट किया, you can see that everyone is completely different. सबका अपना ही फ्लेवर है. You don't find, even if you find some similarity, but within that similarity also there will be completely unique flavors. So everyone is completely unique and different, and Krishna likes that, because variety is the mother of enjoyment. So Krishna values everyone's unique individual flavor everyone has, and hence when we live in this world also we should respect that. We should learn to respect that flavor and uniqueness in others. We should not become intolerant. That Prabhu, what is this? Why you are always like this? Why you don't change? Obviously, if there is, conditionings, which is stopping you to go towards Krishna, that surely one should change. Conditionings means the old bad habits. That should be changed. That should not be. Obviously, we should be changing individually. We should work on it. Not that you have to correct others. Right? The seniors can correct the juniors, but individually we should work on that. Okay, these conditionings I should give up. But if there is a unique flavor, everyone has his flavor, and we should not become, disturbed that why he has this flavor, why he is not like me, right? Why he is not like doing what I want him to do. So everyone has their flavor, how they can serve Krishna best, and Krishna accepts that. Krishna is so kind; he accepts all kinds of different kinds of love and varieties of love. In the spiritual world, we find this, so much that Krishna's, two very prominent wives in Dwarka. One is Satyabhama and one is Rukmani. Completely opposite nature. Like Rukmani is very submissive, and so submissive that if Krishna sometimes, jokes with Rukmani and tells that Rukmani, I think you did a mistake. You did a mistake by by choosing me as a husband. Right? You were getting a good offer of going to Shishupal. You had a good proposal. You see, I am not even a king. Here the king is Ugrasen. I am not even a king. And like that, Krishna started speaking so many things, telling that I am not the right person. And by this time, actually, Rukmani and Krishna had sons and grandsons. And Krishna was telling, it seems you did a mistake, and I think even still you have time. You can go to Shishupal. So like that, Krishna was saying, then you can leave me. But and Krishna was speaking this so that Rukmani becomes angry, because Krishna wanted to just agitate. ऐसा होता है, husband wife जिन्होंने शादी नहीं किया उनको नहीं पता होगा, और शायद किसी ने नहीं किया यहाँ पर, लेकिन शास्त्रों को पढ़ के जिसने नहीं भी किया वो भी समझ जाता है कि क्या होता है. So the husband, we don't have to get married to understand married life, for your information. And I think without getting married, it's easier to understand. Because when you are in the situation, maybe you may not understand better. When you are out of the situation, from objective perspective, you can see and understand everything more nicely. So anyways, so there is a... So Krishna was trying to agitate the mind of Rukmani. But Rukmani's swabhav is different. She don't become agitated. Rather, Rukmani started to think that it seems Krishna is not happy with me, he wants to leave me. And that's why Krishna is speaking all these kinds of words. So Rukmani, hearing all these words, she fainted in feeling that Krishna will leave us in separation. And as Rukmani fainted, Krishna became so concerned. Krishna was thinking she'll become angry, but she fainted. Krishna became so concerned. Immediately, Krishna, just to catch, she was about to fall on the ground. Just to catch, Krishna immediately brought two more hands, and with four hands, with two hands below her, like that hold, and with the other two hands, he started, taking care of her and caressing her. That, and then drop some water on her, and then immediately Rukmani came back to consciousness, and then Krishna explained that I was just joking, nothing serious. And then Rukmani started to, when Rukmani understood that it was not so serious, then Rukmani started to refute all the things Krishna has said, and Rukmani gave a very beautiful philosophical explanation and explained her unconditioned love to Krishna. So this is her nature, Swabhava. Whereas now there's another queen, that is Satyabhama, and she becomes immediately very angry. And Krishna likes that. So Krishna loves this nature of Rukmani, and Krishna also loves the nature of Satyabhama. That at one point of time, Krishna got I think Narad Muni only gave. Narad Muni gave Parijat flower to Krishna, from the heaven. And Krishna gave that Parijat flower, one flower to Rukmani. And as Krishna gave that, Narad Muni, to create a transcendental pleasure, went to Satyabhama and told, you know what? You know what? Krishna gave Parijat flower to Rukmini. Who gave Parijat to Krishna? Who gave Parijat to Krishna? Narad. So Narad Muni created the scene, for Krishna's enjoyment, because this is how Krishna enjoys. So then Rukmini, when she heard, Satyabhama, when she heard that what? Rukmini ko Parijat diya? Humko to diya nahi. So immediately Rukmini became very upset. Satyabhama became very upset. That what is this? You gave Parijat to Rukmini, and mera liye to kuch mila nahi. And then Krishna created an arrangement that Krishna took Satyabhama with him to, obviously first he killed, what is that? Who was that? Narkasur, Bhaumasur. Basically Bhaumasur or Narkasur, same person. So, and then after that he went to heaven to return the kundal of Aditi. And during that time, while Krishna was coming, Krishna told to Satyabhama, you were telling that I gave one flower, I am going to give you an entire tree. Chalo, पूरा ट्री तुम्हारे लिए लेके जाते हैं, रोज पारिजात फ्लावर लेना. So पारिजात का ट्री उखाड़ के लेके गए भगवान हेवन से. Obviously Indra became very angry. इंद्रा की ही सेवा कर रहे हैं, इंद्रा को इतना फेवर कर रहे हैं कृष्णा. Indra became angry with Krishna. How you took Parijat? And Indra fought. Indra started shooting arrows on Krishna that hey, how you can take Parijat? And Krishna had to defeat Indra right on the spot to take the Parijat. And then so just imagine, it's all Krishna's property. Later on, obviously, Indra laments. Later on, we hear in Brihad Bhagavatamritam that how Indra is lamenting. So the point is that Krishna relishes, Krishna relishes the Satyabhama's angry mood and Rukmani's, soft mood. So we should not, become disturbed that Prabhu, this devotee is like this only. But that, like this also, whatever his nature is, in that nature he can please Krishna. Right? And hence we should not be intolerant of other swabhavas. That is another nature in the spiritual world, that no one devotee is intolerant of another devotee's swabhav. Because everyone says swabhav is ultimately united in pleasing Krishna. Right? Most of the question I ask, you can memorize the answer. Right? Everyone is united in. So there is unity in diversity. What is unity? Pleasing Krishna. And diversity, there are different swabhavas. Everyone has their own swabhav. But everyone with their swabhav is trying to please Krishna. Right? And hence, within the voice also we can see that there is so many varieties of devotees. Right? Every devotee is very unique. कोई किसी का ये flavor है, किसी का ये flavor. And that's why we are very nice. I've seen personally for so many years, last 15 years at least, I'm preaching in voice, and maybe including my stay in voice, if I include, then I can say last 20 years almost, 19 years. So I can tell you my observation in voice that always I find in voice there is always so many varieties of devotees, and all that variety is always necessary to ensure that all that things goes on. Right? And to be able to please Krishna, we need that variety. And without that variety, if everyone has become like like a very let's say everyone is like preaching, सब प्रचार करेंगे, तो फिर ठीक है, प्रचार करने जाओ, प्रसाद कहाँ से बनेगा? इंटरनेट सर्विस कहाँ से होगी? Right? So everyone is needed in voice. So similarly, Krishna actually loves everyone's flavor. So that's why we should always try to respect the unique contribution of every devotee, and not envy. Because we should also know that I have my service, let me do my service. And this devotee is good in this service, let him do this service. And one devotee may be good in singing, and I may have no surtal. So let me appreciate the devotee who is singing for Krishna, and let me do what I can do. Maybe I may have another talent which this devotee may not have. So in that way we all come together unitedly to try to serve Krishna. Right? In that way there is a team. There is a teamwork. Voice is like one team, and when we see something lacking in others and something which is in me, this quality is in me and it is lacking in other, we don't become proud. And when we see that someone has this quality more and I don't have that, we don't become envious. Rather, we think that wonderful. It's so nice that what I don't have, he has, and what he don't have, I have. So that means it's a first-class team. It's a teamwork. Let us together try to serve Krishna. In that way, we compensate each other's lacking, shortcomings, and we can do such wonderful service. Right? So in that way, there is no envy, pride. This is spiritual world. That's spiritual world, and this is where honestly, in our hearts of heart, we are always longing to be in such place. Right? And this place is there in the spiritual world only. Right? And what is the voice? Yesterday we concluded with this point that voice is the embassy. Voice is the embassy of the spiritual. Embassy means the place where all the characteristics of that particular place may be there. Just like American embassy means the American citizens are American, and their activities is American. Similarly, spiritual world embassy means the residents living in the spiritual world are embassy are residents of spiritual world. Residents of the embassy are spiritual world residents. Right? And the residents and the activities of the embassy of the spiritual world is all the activities of the spiritual world. Right? And hence, voice is such a wonderful place which helps us to live the culture of the spiritual world. Right? And live a life which is much more meaningful. Live a life which is completely fulfilling, and which is completely innate to our inner nature. We will see all these points today as we understand more about this voice. This is an introduction, right, to what is voice. So I have told this story to seniors. How many of you remember the story of Sindhu Tai Satpal? हाँ, जर्नी विदिन में है स्टोरी. बाकी लोग थोड़ा भूल गए. मैं शॉर्ट में सुनाता हूँ because at least I can see in the class almost 80% devotees have not heard. So I'll say in short. So especially those who are from Maharashtra, our Omkar Prabhu and Pawan Prabhu. So it's very, and even our Amiya Prabhu. So she is one of the hero. You have not heard about her? Not heard? I'm saying especially from Maharashtra. She is one of the very great hero of Maharashtra. So I'll tell you the story. So once upon a time, there was a lady named Sindhu Tai Satpal, and she was आपको याद रहेगा छोटा सा एक्चुअली में सुना आपने तो so she was a very, very poor lady in a house, and while she was only 14 years old or so, she got married. 9 years old. Okay, 9 years old she got married, and then she gave birth to many children, and although she was a very righteous lady, and she would talk something, sometimes complaining against the local some influential people because they were doing some wrong things. Because of that, what happened is that these local people became little bit against, quite very much against her. And that's why one fine day, while she was in her home, very very chaste lady, to her husband. Her husband was 30 years old, while she was that time around 16 years old, 16, 17 years old, something. And her husband, and she was pregnant at that time, about to almost give birth to the child. At that point of time, the local local in charge, against whom she had some complaints, he told to the husband that actually the child in the womb is actually my child, right? And she's having many affairs with many persons, and in that way he spoke a lot of such rumors. And then his husband became so angry. The husband would drink and anyways regularly beat her. Husband was not a good person. So on hearing this, husband became so angry that husband on that day, kicked on her womb. She was pregnant. He kicked, and threw her out of the home, and just threw her, and get lost, so like that. And she had no home because the husband didn't wanted her to receive her back. And she went to the cow shed, and somehow the other there, she was about to give birth to the child actually. And while she was under the cow shed means now the many cows may trample her, and she would die actually there. But somehow the other one particular cow protected her, covered her body, and under that cow's protection, she successfully gave birth to a child. And so she became mother of a child, of a girl child, right? Of a girl child, and then she cut the umbilical cord with some rock which was there, and somehow the other, and then she survived. But then she was thinking how she will live, and she decided that better she'll commit suicide, because what is the use of such a life? So then she went to commit suicide in the railway tracks, which is one of the common places of committing suicide. It's easier. So she went there, and she was about to commit suicide. But then she heard suddenly a cry of a old man, right? Old man? Of a child? Of an orphan child, okay. Cry of an orphan child. And she when she heard that cry, she felt that let me try to help this child. And then she begged, not for herself, she begged for that child. She begged for the child, and she got some money, and she fed the child. The child was orphan, he has no one. And after that she felt that I had no purpose in my life till now, but now I found some purpose. Maybe I can help this child. Right? So then she dropped the idea of committing suicide. Right? And she thought that let me try to help this child. And then one child she helped like that. And then she further, and she would do this begging and then helping and feeding the child. And then slowly she started helping many other orphans, right? Like that. Because she got a meaning and purpose in her life, right? And in that way, she felt so fulfilling, this whole thing of trying to help someone, that slowly she started to work as a mother, and she started to be called as mother, mother in that whole area. That, what? Mai. Mai. Okay, so she was Mai or Ai bolte na? So she was known as mother by so many people because she became mother of the orphans. Okay, right. So anyone who's orphan, they would be coming there, and slowly she opened a whole orphanage, by charity. Water charity was coming, and slowly she started to be called as mother of the orphans. And she would not just feed them, she would educate them, she would get them educated and get good degrees and everything. And then finally, so much so that the daughter whom she gave birth, and later on she became a doctor, and then she joined the orphanage to help treat many children also. And then finally, while she became quite old, she became very famous. She got many awards from the government for doing such a wonderful thing. And then as she became little more old, then one fine day, in the orphanage came one very old man, right? and this old man came and he said that I need help. Can I be also part of this orphanage? And she accepted. And obviously the old man knew who is this? Who was that old man? He was the husband of Sindhu Tai Sapkal. And then, but lovingly she would call even that husband as my naughtiest child. Because no more is husband, no? Husband has already rejected. So, but he took care of him also. So the person who rejected him, also she took care of him as a child. No more that relationship. So in that way, I told you in short, it's a story of sacrifice. To tell you a point, that conclusion of the story is that that in our life, as we were discussing in the beginning, in our life we can see that how much this world is so selfish and filled with exploitative mentality. So here is an opportunity. We can see that how she transcended the world of selfishness, just thinking about herself. When she was thinking about herself, it is so depressing. But as soon as she started thinking about helping others, the life became so meaningful, so purposeful, right? So fulfilling, right? Isn't it? And she could do so much wonderful things for others, right? So hence, the conclusion of the story is that we can see in this world also, when you come to IIT, what you are taught, why you are working hard, why you are studying, why you want training, why you want placement, why you want to do job, for what purpose? What is being taught? What is the purpose of life? Ultimately centered around selfishness and exploitation. Somehow or the other I will get myself more and more and more. There is competition, and even if you have a drop and an idea of trying to be really helping and serving others, the whole atmosphere is surcharged in such a way, with such vibrations of selfishness and exploitation that even if you have some thoughts like that, it gets evaporated. You just can't think of these things because everyone is just surcharged with these things. How I have to gain the cutthroat rat race competition. I have to come first. And when you sit with the materialistic association, you always hear these kind of stuffs. Everyone talking about how they will enjoy more and more, right? But whereas transcending this world, where everyone is selfish and everyone is thinking about exploiting others, we welcome you all to this voice, which is a word of love, care, and selflessness. This is spiritual world, right? Where where we get meaning and purpose to our life, where we actually care for people. We actually all day and night we are thinking how to help other devotees, right? That is what is the thought process going on here. When you are associating with devotees, you are not thinking what I am going to get, right? Isn't it a natural consciousness? When you live here in this atmosphere, isn't it a natural consciousness which flows here, right? That isko kuch problem hai, how to help him, how to help this devotee, how to help them. Natural consciousness, it flows. So love, care, and selflessness. No one is thinking so much about himself. And more we come to spiritual world consciousness, there is no thought of oneself, because one is fully clear that as far as I am concerned, Krishna and devotees are taking care. And Krishna and devotee, one receives so much love. One receives so much love that he don't want to think about himself. Right? Because I am already cared. Right? All I want to do is reciprocate with that. Right? Okay. So obviously Sundatai Satpal story is glorious and wonderful, but still it is on the material platform. Right? But we can learn from the story and understand that we have opportunity to help people on the ultimate platform by helping them, taking them back to Godhead. The voice gives us 3 levels of benefits. First level of benefit is in terms of character. It's called as character, competence, and devotion. CCD. Okay. Chaitan Charan Das, right? CCD. Character. So first is character. So when we stay in voice in this wonderful association, right? That means the first thing we get is a good character. So we can, I think yesterday, Mukul Nilapru gave a whole session on lifestyle management, right? How many of you attended lifestyle management? Right? Some of you attended. So, and how many of you attended in the past? बाकी सीनियर्स लोग ने पहले तो अटेंड किए हैं, किया है ना सबने, भूल गए. In a sense, in that session we discuss about that what happens to our character when you go to hostel. And it's very natural. We should not be surprised if suppose someone having a very good character lives with the materialistic association and he starts drinking alcohol and he starts smoking or he starts watching dirty movies and everything. Not a surprise. We should not become like surprised. It's but natural because we become what we associate with, right? We can't uphold our good character. See, we are jivas, we are tatastha shakti. We have to be first of all humble. We have to be humble enough to understand that we are a tatastha shakti. Humble means honest enough. We are always fallible. We can always fall down to Maya. Never think that, प्रभु मेरा पूरा रिजॉल्व है, मेरा करेक्टर स्पॉइल हो ही नहीं सकता. Sorry, impossible. Right? We are always susceptible to Maya. You go, because we are Tata Shakti. That is our nature, constitutional nature. You can't be by your own strength dissociated at one place. Anytime you can fall down. Anytime we are susceptible to fall down to Maya. And that's why we need the right kind of association to uphold the good character. So when you uphold the good character, by staying in voice, you are actually being true to your inner voice. Right? When you do something wrong in your life, something you didn't want you to do, what happened? What comes in your heart? What is that one word? When you do something wrong you didn't want it to do, guilt, right? You did it. You didn't want it to do, but you did it. It comes guilt. But when you overcome that, You feel very confident, because that's why it is said character means being true to your inner voice. Inside your heart of heart, you want to live a life of virtue, life of good character, life which is free from all the bad habits. So the voice gives you that platform where you can develop that good character and be true to your inner voice. You live a life of virtues and true values, right? So really, really a value of doing selfless sacrifice to help others, right? Voice gives that type of tangible engagement, right? And also, most importantly, what voice gives you, very, very important. Please hear this and understand this very seriously. Whether you are first year, second year, third year, fourth year, fifth year, pass out, whoever you are, please hear and understand this very sincerely. That voice gives you connection to real people, your lifelong friends and well-wishers. Right? You don't get this anywhere else. Every time you find, maybe you were in a primary school, you pass out from a primary school and go to another school. Then you leave back those friends and no more connection to those friends when you are in secondary school. And then when you pass out the secondary school, till class 12, you have many wonderful friends. You pass out from there, you come to the college, you leave back those friends. You get new friends now, And even if there is some connection in WhatsApp and all, it's quite superficial, because he also knows that abhi मेरे दूसरे दोस्त हैं, you also knows मेरे दूसरे दोस्त हैं, मेरा दूसरा काम है. So there is no much work, right? And no much such connection unless and until something really in common is there. कुछ selfish motivation, उनका self-centered motivation और मेरा self-centered motivation में कुछ intersection में कुछ elements हैं, Then okay, we have to do something. But अगर कुछ एकदम disjoint sets हैं, intersection is zero. Then and hi hello बोलने में भी मेहनत लगता है कि क्यों hi लिखें उसको. Right, But here, once you develop a connection, this connection is eternal, not just lifelong, but at least you can understand lifelong. Because this connection is also not just lifelong, it is a real. These are the real people who really want to help you. In general, people become friends because the friend in need is the friend indeed, right? Isn't it? Because they know that you are my friend because you will come when I am in need. है ना? हम कितने अपने फ़ोन में कांटेक्ट रखते हैं, है ना? हम कितना फ़ोन में बोलते हैं ना, अच्छा अपना नंबर दो तो सेव करते हैं, क्यों? काम आएगा, है ना? कितने फ़ोन में हम कांटेक्ट किस लिए रखते हैं? काम आए, मेरे काम आएगा. How many contacts we keep so that I will serve him? हम किस लिए रखते हैं contacts? So we can see that how much there is selfishness ingrained everywhere. Right? So much selfishness. So hence you connect with the people who now want to keep your contact so that I can serve him. अपना नंबर दे दो, because कनेक्ट करेंगे तुमको, तुम खो जाओगे तो खो गए तो तुमको लेकर वापस आना होगा. So here you get people who actually want to help you, right? Who really want to help you, not just in a superficial way, right? And in a complete holistic way, a holistic care. Wow, what a place, Once you come to here, what do you need anything else? Right? We have discussed in lifestyle management session, we discussed about your health is taken care, your social interactions are taken care, your intellectual needs are taken care, your spiritual needs are taken care. What more you need in your life, Nowadays, now in our voice, we are even making a whole systematic and very detailed planning of career career taking care. Right? The whole team is working on very seriously on, okay, if you want to become entrepreneur, we'll take care like this. You enter into finance, we'll take care like this. You want to do coding, we'll take care like this. You want to do teaching, we'll take care of like this. Any type of careers also, not that you have to choose only this career. Means womb to tomb, right? Full care, If you want to get married, this is how you'll be cared for. After that, you have children, your children will be cared for, and your parents will be cared for, and all that is going on, So then, what more you need? This is the biggest family, and not only from womb to tomb. Maybe max to max in this world, people may take care of that much. No, beyond that. The care is not ending there. The care is beyond that. After you die, we are there for you. Who can say this? Who can say this statement? After people can say, जीवन के साथ भी जीवन के बाद भी. It's all fake. What जीवन के बाद, what LIC will do? Right? It's a fake statement, but devotees actually say, जीवन के साथ भी, जीवन के बाद भी हम हैं आपके साथ. Devotees are confident, because Krishna is there. Because devotees' only work is to help you connect to your real friend, real connections. Okay, so what a place, So hence you actually develop the highest of the character. That's the first benefit. Second is competence, academic, from academics point of view, and the kind of focus you can get in voice. That means you can study well, right? You can focus on your studies. What are best within your capacity you can do. You can do the best in your capacity when you are in voice, because you have no distractions. Then services. Voice also gives you ample opportunity to do so many varieties of services, by which you also develop competence, right? Maybe you were, for example, one of the very wonderful service in voice you learn is cooking, right? Right. So when you maybe some of you, how many of you here sitting here, among seniors especially, I'm asking, you never knew cooking, but now after coming to voice, you learned cooking, right? So many of you, and these are very good cooks. Shivam Prabhu, Ankit Prabhu is one of the best in our voice. Right? So we learn new things, and some of us, maybe we knew little bit cooking, but now we become expert cooks, right? Or we become mega cooks. Some people become mega cooks. Still now, our voice has not entered into that type of cooking. Rameshwaram is always in mega cooking. Mega cooking means at least cooking for 200 plus. Then you enter into mega, and in Rameshwaram there are devotees like Harshit Prabhu and Sevasuru Prabhu who enter into super mega cooking, like 5,000 devotees and everything, in Janmashtami and all, so they do that cooking. So, they can do, just two people I saw with my own eyes, how these two devotees sitting and with great ecstasy and happiness, ऐसे खुशी खुशी. और ये सब्जी कटिंग अकेले, मतलब कुकिंग अकेले करते हैं, सब्जी कटिंग बाकी लोग करते हैं. सब्जी कटिंग सब करके रेडी हो गए, अभी ये दोनों लोग किचन में घुसे और एकदम एक्सटेसी में, ये डाला ऐसे, हरे बहुत. और हजारों लोगों का कुकिंग चल रहा है, एंड फर्स्ट क्लास टेस्टी प्रसाद. So some devotees may enter into that also. Although maybe before coming to voice, they might have not even entered into kitchen. So like that. So yes, you learn so much, and similarly you learn so much management. So there's personality development. That means you learn. Maybe some people never spoke in the public. Public, I have stage fear, Prabhu. I can't speak. And then after coming to voice, they give big seminars. They're the top-notch speakers. going to different voices and maybe different colleges. They're on the stage of a college giving seminars, presentations, right? And so like that, and especially IIT Kharagpur devotees get this opportunity a lot because other colleges respect IIT Kharagpur. Maybe in IIT you may not be respected, but other colleges say that, Prabhu, can you send some devotees for our one-time program in the college? So when you go to other college, people are like, oh, IIT say, sir, please come, sir. So then you become sir there, and you're giving you're beginning a big classes, So like that. So you get that opportunity, that platform, to do so much real way, like in real way, obviously, in which you will feel development and you will help others. There are other societies in IIT also which may give you such platform, but ultimately you will be exploited by those societies ultimately to do what they want you to do, and even if you are doing something that's not a welfare work, right? Even if you are doing some great performance, it's not going to help anyone in this world anyways. It may degrade people. For example, you become a SF core committee member. What you are doing? What you are doing? You are helping people get more contaminated. That's all. You are getting a sponsor so that all more money is spent in spreading contamination. Right? So hence, it's not a real development in any way, but you get that as a side benefit. Academic services, personality development, you get to learn so many services. You learn management. Some people who never thought they can manage, they become OCs of the voice, they become organizers of the camps, and big camps they may organize, right? And don't think that students don't do that. Actually, students do that. I remember when I was a student in my fourth year ending. After fourth year ending, the Utkarsha camp comes. So in that, one of my batchmate, he was the overall coordinator, and I was taking care of the overall accounts with him. So students were managing entire Utkarsha, right? So Radheshampuru, that's why recently Radheshampuru told us that he is not happy to see that now brahmacharis are doing so much management, because the scenario has changed, but actually those days students used to do all these things, and voice devotees, Hari Bol. They would do all this, so much of management, and brahmacharis go and give classes. They don't have to do so much management, right? So somehow this has changed, and Radheshampuru was requesting that we should bring back that culture. So, and that let the students take up, because they take up, they learn so much, and let them do mistakes, but they learn, right? So we hope and pray that soon that cultures come back, at least in our voice, right? And all of you, the next generation, you take up. In that way, you learn to do so many things. Obviously, we may think that, oh, don't disturb them. I'll take care of the management. आप लोग आराम से बैठ के प्रसाद दो, शांति से रहो. But then you don't learn. And you don't learn. You don't grow. And so now you can take up. Okay. So in that way, you can learn so many varieties of services, so much personality development. So much real personality development. Real personality means our real personality is we are a spirit soul. And we are supposed to be developing our personality to love and serve Krishna. So the ultimate personality development also happens. And the final and most important benefit is devotion. That is, you become instrument of compassion to genuinely help others. Right? So this is most important and significant. We all have this desire to help others, right? We discuss about Sindhu Tai Satpal, why it touches the heart, why this story touches the heart, because when we see some sort of selfless sacrifice to help others, we also feel, yeah, I also want to help others. How many of you, in your heart of heart, even before coming to Krishna consciousness, in natural, you get this thought, लेट मी ट्राई टू हेल्प अदर्स, आई वांट टू हेल्प अदर्स, ये मतलब ये नेचुरल है, ये इसके लिए डिवोटी बनने का जरूरत नहीं है, ये नेचुरल है. बट प्रॉब्लम क्या है, विदाउट बिकमिंग अ डिवोटी यू कैन नेवर हेल्प अदर्स, because you have that desire, but so much selfish desires keep overpowering this desire, that this desire doesn't come out only, and so much of atmosphere also surcharged with selfishness that this desire remain completely inside, dormant. But here voice gives you a platform to really express this desire. Right? There is an opportunity, there is an event. अभी हम लोग preaching start करने वाले हैं, हरि बोल, सब लोग प्रचार के लिए जाएंगे, सब लोग help करेंगे. So now we get a platform. We have that desire, करना है, लेकिन करते कुछ है नहीं. करते क्या, करते selfish चीजें हैं. Because there is no such platform, there is no such area. And even if I try to create a platform, then ultimately again it land up in some selfish ideas only. Right? जितने भी आप ऑर्गेनाइजेशन देखेंगे, so called NGOs and blah blah blah, you'll find that they try to do many things. Maybe they have good intention. I'm not saying everyone has bad intention. Many people start NGO with bad intention. That I'm not talking of them. But many people have good intention to start. That let me try to help society. But then as they enter, all selfishness crowd in so much that whole becomes exploitative only. And only the Sabha Seva becomes a drama facade. And everything going on like that. So that's why how tangibly we can do. And second point is that even if they do something tangible in real way, it is ultimately not real benefit. It is ultimately cheating only. Right? An ultimate platform, it is cheating, right? Because to give someone food, cloth, or medicines, these are the three things, right? To do all these things is ultimately cheating them, because they are suffering from lack of these things because of lack of Krishna consciousness. If they get Krishna consciousness, then all these things are naturally provided. And hence to give them all these things without Krishna consciousness is cheating. But you give them Krishna consciousness, and along with that you give, it's okay, not a problem. That's what devotees do. Devotees also provide food, medicine and clothes, not a problem, but not without Krishna consciousness, else we will be cheating them. So devotees provide first Krishna consciousness. In that way we become a genuine instrument of compassion to genuinely help others, because we become instrument of Krishna's compassion. When we connect to the real source of compassion, then we can exhibit real compassion, else our compassion will be tinged with some material things. And ultimately, voice helps you connect to your ultimate goal. Ultimately to your real goal, that is love of God. You connect to Krishna, which is our inner longing of our heart, to get that love. And finally, the voice helps you to focus on looking forward to the final destination, that is back home, back to Godhead, to the spiritual world. And hence, voice fulfills all your inner longings of your heart. There's nothing else to be hankered for or desired for in your life. So I'll conclude with a story. Although I say I conclude, don't think I'm going to end the class now. I'm going to begin the class now. But I'll conclude with this story. This is a beautiful story. It's a long story. The story will take probably 6 to 7 hours. I'll try to speak as short as I can in just few minutes. No, don't worry, I have to complete the class. I have been instructed to complete the class in short time. Is it okay if I go till, I'll keep a time limit and somehow they will make it happen. So I'll end by 9:15. Is that okay? Okay. So everyone is ready to tolerate that much hunger? Okay. Okay. So I'll make sure that I conclude in 25 minutes. But this is very beautiful story. Very, very important story. This story comes, the story of Gop Kumar. You know. Many of you heard it, and those who have heard it, we may discuss today something which you have not heard it. And those who have not heard it, anyways, you have not heard it. This is a very beautiful story. Comes in the scripture called as Brihad Bhagavatamritam. This scripture is a conversation of Jaimini Rishi and Janmejaya. Janmejaya is son of Parikshit Maharaj, and Jaimini Rishi is the disciple of Vyasadeva. Jaimini Rishi describes very beautifully many things to Janmejaya. And after describing a lot, Janmejaya tells that please tell me in a sense the conclusion of all the scriptures. And at that point of time, Janmejaya asks this question. At that point of time, Jaimini Rishi starts to explain about the father of Parikshit Maharaj, that how Parikshit Maharaj heard Bhagavatam, and after he heard Bhagavatam, and Ashokdev Goswami left, and that point of time Uttara, mother of Parikshit Maharaj, came to Parikshit Maharaj and asked Parikshit Maharaj that I missed the Bhagavatam class. Ashokdev Goswami gave 7 days Bhagavatam, I missed it. So can you tell me in essence what you learned today? जब भी हम भागवतम क्लास मिस करें उत्तरा से सीखना चाहिए, ठीक है? जब भी भागवतम क्लास मिस करें तो क्या करना चाहिए? Go to the devotee who has attended the class and ask him, Prabhu ji, आज क्लास में क्या बताया गया मेरे को बताओ, ठीक है? So then Uttara asked this question. So Parikshit Maharaj, started to narrate. He narrated 2 stories. One story he narrated about Narad Muni, that how Narad Muni searched for the greatest person who received the highest mercy of the Lord. And beginning from the Brahmanas in the Bharatvarsha, he went on to Indra, Brahma, Lord Shiva, Prahlad, Hanuman, Pandavas, Uddhava, and concluded with understanding that the highest devotees, who have received the highest mercy of Krishna, are the residents of Vrindavan Dham. There is no devotees better than them. So when Uttara heard that, then Uttara asked, if the residents of Vrindavan are the recipient of the highest mercy, like Yashoda, like the gopis, like Nanda Maharaj, then it is not getting digested to my heart that they receive also the same destination as the other devotees. Because these devotees are so special, so much intense love. Everyone goes to spiritual world like that. And so they should get some more special position. So then Parikshit Maharaj started to tell another story. And that time he started narrating the story of Gop Kumar. It's a long story. So this much size, 3 volumes. So I'm not going to cover that. I'm going to tell you in short. So there he explains about the story of one Brahmana who was searching for the absolute truth, and he was a devotee of Mother Kamakhya. Kamakhya is the place in northeast. Guwahati, yeah. Kamakhya. So he was a devotee of Kamakhya Devi, who is actually Yogamaya, who is expansion of Srimati Radharani. So, and then under the direction of Kamakhya Devi, he came to Varanasi, and in Varanasi, under the direction of Lord Shiva, he went to Vrindavan Dham. Because Lord Shiva and Kamakhya Devi, they are all extremely intimate devotees of Krishna and Vrindavan Dham. So any sincere souls approaches them, they direct them to Vrindavan. So in that way, this Brahmana comes to Vrindavan Dham. And as he reaches Vrindavan Dham, he meets with one cowherd boy. And this cowherd boy, he told that his name is Gop Kumar. Haribol. and then he had a lot of questions. This Brahmana had a lot of questions. So he asked many questions. He said, I want to understand what is the goal of life? What is the ultimate goal? I would like to understand. So Gop Kumar said, I will narrate you my story. And Gop Kumar started narrating his story. And Gop Kumar said that actually I took birth in Govardhan as a son of a cowherd boy. And I was, and by some divine arrangement, I met with my spiritual master. My spiritual master, whose name is Jayanta, was always in ecstasy of love of God, remembering Krishna, chanting the names of Krishna, dancing. And then he gave me a certain mantra. And then I started chanting that mantra, and he told me this mantra is so powerful, whatever you desire will be fulfilled. And just by chanting that mantra, I started feeling great attraction to a personality whom I have never known, but I just became so attracted to him. And that personality's name is Madan Gopal. Krishna. So I was becoming more and more attracted as I chanted. And then, to cut the story short, time is limited. So then, Gop Kumar told his story how he went, by the power of that mantra, he went to different places, and he went to Mathura, where he found a devotee who was worshipping Krishna so nicely. And he wanted to worship also Krishna so nicely. So when he chanted mantra with that desire, then Gop Kumar became the king. Then he heard about Jagannath Puri, and he went to Jagannath Puri, and he saw the worship of Lord Jagannath so nicely. He wanted to also worship Lord Jagannath and even more intimate way. And when he heard about the worship of Lord Jagannath by the king, he chanting the mantra that I want to also worship like that, and he became the king of Jagannath Puri. And then Gop Kumar was serving Lord Jagannath so intimately, but then he heard about as he chanted the mantra, he started feeling separation from Vrindavan Dham. So then he started going back to Vrindavan, taking permission from Lord Jagannath. And as he was going back, he came in Prayag. And in Prayag, he started hearing about the heaven. And he heard that in heaven Lord Indra worships Krishna so wonderfully. So then he started chanting mantra. He met with his spiritual master. There are many details. I'm just trying to be very fast, skipping hundreds of details in every single point I'm speaking. So he chanted mantra, and he reached to heaven, and in heaven he saw Indra. He saw how he is worshipping the Lord so wonderfully, and then he chanted the mantra that I also want to serve the Lord like Indra, and at that point of time some demons came and Indra had to run away, and then Gop Kumar was made Indra. So, and then Gop Kumar was serving the Supreme Lord in that intimacy, and then he heard about the higher residents of Janaloka, and then he heard about Tapaloka, and then he heard about Lord Brahma, going very fast through many chapters after chapters. Then finally he reached Brahmaloka, and there he heard that how Lord Brahma, Hare Krishna, he heard about how Lord Brahma, he worships the Supreme Lord very intimately. Supreme Lord personally, from the hands of Lord Brahma, eats the offering. Voice chala gaya. Hare Krishna. Okay, ठीक है, it's audible. ठीक है, Hare Krishna. Audible, na? So Lord Brahma, he was personally offering with his own hands to the Supreme Lord, and when he saw that, Gop Kumar desired that I can also serve like that, and something happened that Brahma had to go off, and Gop Kumar became Brahma. And he served the Lord very, very intimately. But then he heard that even in Brahmaloka, people are glorifying another devotees who are liberated from this material world and going back to Godhead. So then he chanted mantra for that desire. Whatever you desire will be fulfilled by this mantra. So then he went to the layers of this Brahmanda, different layers. And there also many pastimes happened. I'm skipping that. And then he went to the Brahma Jyoti. And Brahma Jyoti was not very, very ecstatic. He was not feeling very comfortable there. That was not comfortable place. And then from Brahma Jyoti he went to Lord Shiva's abode. Mahakadaloka. There he met with Lord Shiva. And there he was very happy to see Lord Shiva, to see Ganesha. And talking with Lord Ganesh and talking with the Vaikuntha Vasis who had come, he understood that this is not the ultimate place. The ultimate abode is abode of Vaikuntha. Right? And to reach the abode of Vaikuntha, the place is not from here. The place is from Vrindavan Dham. So then he came back and came to Vrindavan Dham, and there he chanted the mantra. And there actually he is told that to go to Vaikuntha, this is a very beautiful section. Someday, if time permits, we can discuss these sections with verses and purports. Very, very special section in Brihad Bhagavatam, where the Vaikuntha Vasis explain him that by chanting of any mantras, you cannot go to Vaikuntha, but it is by exclusive chanting of the holy names of Krishna. So from there, on that point onwards, he started to chant the holy names, direct holy names. Right? And by chanting the holy names in Vrindavan Dham and desiring to go to, because holy names are more powerful than any of the mantra. That's why Hare Krishna is called as Maha Mantra. Maha Mantra means whatever mantras you know, everything is embedded inside. Okay, right? Embedded systems पढ़ा है आप लोगों ने? पढ़ाओ या ना पढ़ाओ? Electrical engineers पढ़ेंगे इसको. Okay, so but point is that everything is embedded inside. सब अंदर है. सब हरे कृष्ण के अंदर सब कुछ है. कोई बोले गायत्री मंत्र बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है. डोंट वरी, हरे कृष्ण के अंदर गायत्री मंत्र भी है. जो भी बेनिफिट किसी भी मंत्र से होने वाला है, सारा सब कुछ हरे कृष्णा के अंदर है, एम्बेडेड है. ठीक है. सो जस्ट यू हैव टू चैंट विद द राइट कॉन्शियसनेस, वी गेट एक्सेस टू एवरीथिंग. सो देन he chanted the holy names, in Vrindavan Dham, and then the Vaikunthayan came, and through Vaikunthayan, as he was going to, that's why we have made this scene, this photo corresponding to that. Through Vaikunthayan, as he went, he saw the entire universe very, very insignificant, and he crossed over all that very easily and went and entered into the abode of Vaikuntha. The description of Vaikuntha is very, very amazing, very detailedly described in the scriptures. But I'm not going into that details. But as he reached Vaikuntha, he reached to the door, and the door, what happened is, at the door there was the doorkeepers who told him that now you are going to meet the Supreme Lord of the universe. The Supreme Lord से मिलने जा रहे हैं अभी. वैकुंठा पहुंच गए. हरि बोल. So now you are going to meet the Supreme Lord. So that's why you should be very careful. You should offer respects, and everything. So maybe you read some of the verses translation. So what Gop Kumara saw. यहाँ पर तो दर्शन हो गया. This is all long description of the darshan, what he saw. Just इसको short में बोल देता हूँ. पूरा ये दर्शन है. So what he was told, that when you see the Supreme Lord, this is Vaikuntha, you should be very respectful, fold your hands, offer your obeisances and offer prayers like that. So ये सब उनको सिखाया गया था. So then Gop Kumar is explaining. Finally, the Supreme Lord's compassionate men who were guiding me told me the special signs by which to recognize the Lord. They also taught me what prayers to recite and what etiquette to observe. ठीक है? So उन्होंने अच्छे से बताया क्या क्या etiquette follow करना है. I passed rapidly through many districts, wonderful, splendid, with all kinds of houses and gates. Then I entered the most excellent transcendental neighborhood. There I came to one place, palace, at whose feet many others stood in attendance. A palace distinct, overflowing in greatness, where excellence seems to reach its highest limit, radiant like millions of suns and moons. It captured my mind and my eyes. This is description of spiritual world, Vaikuntha. Haribol. Within that palace, I saw before me at a distance the personality of Godhead, Lord of Vaikuntha. He sat at leisure on the best of royal thrones, a golden throne shimmering with the glow of many jewels. The cushion on which he sat was of swan white cotton, fine, attractive, spotlessly clean, soft, handsome bolster on which he leaned his left elbow. Upper arm appeared like a full moon, cleansed of his spots. He was presiding lord of the blossoming youth. The brilliant effulgence of his sweet, attractive limbs defeated the splendor of new rain clouds. That effulgence lent further grace to his garlands, cosmetics, and garments, already graced by the jewelry made of gold bedecked with gems. His four shining arms, long and well built, enhanced the beauty of his bangles and armlets. Two yellow silk garments dressed his body, and charming earrings set off his round cheeks. Haribol. On his broad chest was the Kaustuba jewel, on his conch shell neck a string of pearls, and on his moon-like face a nectarian smile. His lotus eyes were alive with playful glances. The great compassion he felt made his beautiful eyebrows dance. Rama, his idly matching consort, standing by his left side, reverently offered him excellent pan to chew, which he accepted. The color of that pan made his bimba fruit lips even more attractive. These are spiritual, no? This is not in this material world. And their lustre reflected on his teeth 2 rows of spotless kunda flowers. Illuminated by the glow of those flowers, his playful smile shone splendidly, smiling so beautifully. His amusing words and gestures stole away the hearts of his devotees. This beautiful form of the Lord and his pastimes. The goddess Dharani in her hand held a vessel to catch the remnants of bitter nut, constantly worshipped the Lord with messages and sidelong glances. And the Lord's excellent weapons like Sudarshan served him in beautiful personified forms, their identities marked by symbols on their heads. Servants stood about him, surrounding him and worshipping him with great respect, their appearance like his, their hands beautified by transcendental items for his service like slippers and yak-tail fans. Shesha, Garuda, Vishwakshena and other leaders of his many groups of attendants bowed down before him with devotion, stood before him with palms joined above their heads and praised him in wonderful poetic language. Sri Narada dancing and his expert singing and Veena playing created such clever entertainment that the Lord and his two consort Rama and Dharani sometimes laughed out loud. To add to the special ecstasy of his devotee, whose hearts are fixed only on him, from time to time the Lord extended both his lotus feet as a way of offering himself. In this way he exhibited his splendor. The fullness of ecstasy of this side brought on made me forget what the attendants of the Lord had instructed me. And I cried out again and again, "Oh Gopal, my life and soul," and I ran forward to embrace the Lord. Very good. याद है ना, उन्होंने बोला था कि ये वैकुंठ है ना, बोला था कि आप पावरफुल ओबीसेंसेस करना है, प्रेयर्स करना है. ये पूरा ब्यूटी देखकर, अरे ये मदन गोपाल जिनको मैं हमेशा याद करता हूँ वो सामने मेरे आज खड़े हैं. हरि बोल, ओ गोपाल. And he ran to embrace him. You know, obeisances पे करना था, prayers करना था. Etiquette सिखाया ना आपको, वैष्णव etiquette, right? कैसे कैसे टेम्पल में एंट्री किया जाता है, right? याद है ना? सब भूल गए वो. Started to jump to embrace the Lord. Some discerning attendants who were standing at Lord's side held me back, and I was heartbroken. I cried out in helpless distress again and again, overcome by my own excessive love, and fell unconscious in front of the Lord. With some efforts, those attendants lifted me up, and after some time, I regained my consciousness. I wiped away with my hands the flood of tears that blocked my sight, and with difficulty, I finally opened my eyes. Then I heard the Lord, that best of the most merciful persons, tell me in deep, gentle voice, please come back to your senses. Dear boy, come here quickly. So he called him. From the moment Gop Kumar felt unconscious, Lord Narayan had been calling to him. The Sanatana Goswami is giving commentary to this scripture. The commentary is given by Sanatana Goswami that Lord Narayan was calling, Gop Kumar, come. But Gop Kumar was unable to hear him. Only after regaining consciousness, the Lord also told him, please give up this reverence for me. Let's talk together as friends. And I then felt the highest limit of joy. I danced all around as if seized by madness and stumbled about, but with great endeavor the Lord's servants calmed me down, and at last I awakened from that trance. Hearing those words from Lord Narayan drove Gop Kumar apparently insane. In truth, however, this insanity was the perfection of clear consciousness, in which one who suffers feels the ultimate extreme of happiness. And then the Supreme Lord spoke. Please recite. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Swagatam Vatsa Dishtya Bhavan Maya Sangato Atritva Dikshayam Shiram Utkanthite Nahi. So what the Supreme Lord is saying, as Gop Kumar reaches back to Godhead, is very interesting. The Supreme Lord is saying, Swagatam Vatsa. The first thing he is telling, welcome my dear son, welcome back to Godhead. Haribol. So when you go back to Godhead, the first thing the Lord calls you personally, and he is welcoming you. Then what he is saying? He is saying Dishtya means good fortune, by good fortune. Whose good fortune? किसका good fortune आया? गोप कुमार का, right? No. हमको ऐसा लगेगा ना, दिष्टया मीन्स अच्छा गुड फॉर्चून. गोप कुमार आप अच्छे गुड फॉर्चून से आप मेरे पास आ गए हो. नहीं, ऐसा भगवान ने नहीं बोला. क्या बोल रहे हैं भगवान? दिष्टया भवान मया. आज मेरे ऊपर बहुत बड़ा गुड फॉर्चून आया है. आपने मेरे ऊपर बड़ी कृपा कर दी है. क्या? हाँ, आप वहाँ यहाँ पर वापस आ गए भगवत धाम. आपने मेरे ऊपर बहुत कृपा करी, मेरा आज भाग्य खुल गए. क्यों भगवान ऐसा क्यों बोल रहे हो? बिकॉज संगतो अत्र त्वदीक्षायाम चिरम उत्कंठिते नहीं. Oh my dear Gop Kumar, for a long time I was waiting for you. मेरे उत्कंठता थी, बहुत ईगरनेस था, कब आओगे तुम वापस, कब आओगे तुम. I was so anxious to see you, and by today you have come back. You have done a great favor to me. The Supreme Lord said, welcome my dear boy. I am fortunate, most fortunate to meet you here. For so long I have been eager to see you. आपने मेरा भाग्य उदय कर दिया आज भगवत धाम वापस आकर. Hoping to calm Gopkumar, the most compassionate Lord greeted him as a welcome guest. The Lord stated honestly बताया that he has been waiting for a long time for Gopkumar to come to Vaikuntha. How much he was waiting? Please hear. Bahuni gamitani anga janmani bhavata sakhe kathanchit api mai abhi mukhyam kinchit akarina. Saying that bahuni gamitani anga janmani bhavata sakhe. My dear friend, sakhe, my dear friend, you passed many lifetimes, without paying any attention to me at all. So many lifetimes, you never even thought about me. Kathanchit api mai abhimukhyam. You turned away your face against me. And as you never looked at me, what was happening here in Vaikuntha to me? In this material world, as every time you looked away, I have been waiting for you. But what was my situation? Please try to understand. Asmin ihe haiva bhave bhavi madunmukha iti ashaya tavatyantam nartitosmi sadagyavat. And what I will be doing here in Vaikuntha, I would say, Asmin, in this lifetime, a particular lifetime you will not turn and you will take another birth. And in this particular lifetime, from sitting from Vaikuntha, waiting for you and looking at you, I was thinking, now in this lifetime, he will turn back to me. Right? And then he will not turn back. And then next lifetime, Asmin, in this one. Yeah, no in this, now in this. And in that way, I will be always waiting and thinking, that now he will come back. And as soon as I will see that now, some Hare Krishna devotee has met, I would arrange it. I would send one devotee, while you will be sitting in the hostel. I will be sending one devotee, knocking at the door. And then you will say, yes, senior has come. And then you will be very attentively hearing. And you will come for the sessions. And I will be, what will happen to me, as soon as I would see that you are a little bit receiving Krishna consciousness, iti ashaya tavatyantam nartito. Thinking that now you will come back, you have attended one session of divine Saripur. And thinking like that, what I would do? Nartito. I'll start dancing. Vaikuntha में मैं तो डांसिंग करता था ये जय हो इसने एक सेशन अटेंड किया अभी आ जाएगा बैक टू गॉड आएगा अभी बट देन नेक्स्ट सेशन विल नॉट गो ओनली फिर हम नहीं जाते थे फिर हम कहते अरे पूरा लाइफ टाइम निकल गया फिर देन आई से मे बी नेक्स्ट दिस लाइफ टाइम नाउ अभी अस्मिन मीन्स इन दिस लाइफ यह मीन्स विद इन द लाइफ टाइम अभी करेगा अभी टर्न करेगा सो लॉर्ड इज constantly watching us, and constantly thinking that, now he will take up Krishna consciousness, now he will take up. But we are mad unmukha. Lord is thinking he will turn towards me. For so long, hope had made me dancing. Lord, what is saying? Nartato asmi sada agyavat, like a fool. अज्ञावत एक मूर्ख की तरह मैं डांस करता रहता था कि अभी ये टर्न करेगा दैट मीन्स व्हाट वी शुड अंडरस्टैंड दिस इज ऑल स्क्रिप्चर्स व्हाट इज लॉर्ड फीलिंग ही स्पीकिंग डायरेक्टली and Gopkumar is not some very special case. We have to understand we are all that case, because when we read the next verse we can see that really we are a part of that case. that whenever we are taking little bit steps in Krishna consciousness, right, we should know that our real well-wisher friend, In this world, so many people may tell you that I am your friend, मैं तुम्हारा दोस्त हूँ यार, हमारी दोस्ती यारी, you know, सबसे पुरानी, you know, you know, सबसे तगड़ी, जन्मों जन्मों के जन्म जन्म का साथ है, you know, like that people may sing songs but all that is drama, all that is drama, nothing has reality. The real friend is waiting, you know, in the spiritual world. And as soon as you take a little step to revive your friendship with him, he starts to dance. When you are chanting Hare Krishna here, in the spiritual world, Lord is dancing. Jai, abhi aa jayega, ye abhi aa jayega. Back to God and aane wala hai. Lord is dancing with that hope. But then he sees that this fellow again takes up Maya and goes back. That's why Lord is saying, Agyavat, like a fool I would be dancing and then I will not come back. For so long hope had made me dancing like a fool, thinking perhaps in this lifetime or this or this or this, he will finally turn his face towards me. You know. So in that way I have been hoping against hope. Even though Gop Kumar had forgotten his Lord for many lifetimes, इसीलिए बता रहे हैं गोप कुमार का केस हमारा केस में ज़्यादा अंतर नहीं है, हम भी वही वाला केस है. So Gop Kumar had forgotten his Lord for many lifetimes. The Lord had never forgotten him. Every moment Krishna is remembering us personally. You know, it's not, don't think, oh, Krishna is remembering all the jivas. No, personally he remembers you. He is missing you. The Lord wanted Gop Kumar to know this, and also to know how eager the Lord had always been to regain the association of his devotee in the spiritual world. And then Lord says, very interesting verse, he says, Chalam chana labhe kinchit yenadyam paripalayan nibandham swakritam bhratar Anyami atmana padam. So Lord is saying, when I see that you are not coming back by all these ways, then I would think, chalam, that maybe by some chal, कुछ छल से तुमको back to God लेके आए, you know, कुछ छल करके. क्या छल है? कौन सा छल? कोई एग्जाम्पल याद है किसी को? हाँ, एक ऐसा सिचुएशन, उसका ये एग्जाम्पल सनातन गोस्वामी देते हैं. छल का एग्जाम्पल है अजामिला. सो भगवान ने अजामिला के साथ ऐसे छल किया. क्या छल किया? किसी तरह से उसके बेटे का नाम नारायण रखवा दिया. दैट वाज द छल. सो दैट किसी तरह से अजामिल, बिकॉज अजामिल का जो सिचुएशन है उधर भी भगवान सोच रहे हैं. ये मत सोचिए कि आप बहुत पाप करते हैं तो भगवान ने आपके बारे में सोचना छोड़ देते हैं, इसको छोड़ देना, लाइक कोई काम का नहीं है, गेट लॉस्ट. भगवान कभी भी नहीं छोड़ते. आप कितना भी नालायकी ना कर लो, भगवान आपको प्रेम करते हैं हमेशा. अनकंडीशनल है ये प्रेम. और सोचते रहते हैं कि कैसे इसको हेल्प करें. सो देन फॉर अजामिला लॉर्ड थॉट दैट अभी इसको छल के माध्यम से लेकर आएंगे. And that's why he said, he gave the son name Narayan. So then Azamla started speaking Narayan, 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 beta idhar आओ. Narayan क्या कर रहा है? Narayan इधर मत जाओ. Narayan खा लो बेटा. Narayan. He started speaking Narayan, Narayan whole day and night. He's chanting the Narayan. And in that way he purified his heart. So that was Lord's trick. But he is saying, Lord is saying to him, छलम चा न लभे किंचित. अरे मैंने छल करके भी तुमको मैंने अपना नाम नहीं बुलवा पाया. तुम्हारा ये हालत था. क्या सिचुएशन था? अजामिल को कम से कम छल करके नारायण बुलवाया, तुम्हारे साथ तो वो भी नहीं करा पा रहा था मैं. अंडरस्टैंड? दिस इज पिटिएबल सिचुएशन ऑफ ऑल ऑफ अस. बट आई कुड फाइंड नो प्रिटेक्स्ट ऑन विच टू ब्रिंग यू टू माई अबोर्ड. कोई कैसे लेकर आए, कैसे? आई वॉन्टेड टू ब्रिंग, बट ऑन व्हाट प्रिटेक्स्ट टू ब्रिंग? अजामिल का क्या प्रोटेक्ट था? उसने देखो नारायण बोला ना, हो गया, उसका कैंसिल हो गया. कुछ ना कुछ करके भगवान ने ऐसा कुछ करते हैं, कुछ ना कुछ करके बैक टू गॉड लेके आ जाने. इसीलिए स्क्रिप्चर्स में इतने सारे लूप होल्स बना के रखे हैं. देखो भौतिक जगत में ये पाप करोगे ये हो जाएगा, ये पाप, खूब पाप का लिस्ट है. उसके बाद ये करने से इतना बड़ा पाप भी, माउंटेन में बराबर पाप भी जीरो हो जाता है. हाँ इस तरह से खूब सारा बना के रखा हुआ है. सो दैट अ जीवा कैन कम बैक. बट देन ही इज सेइंग, बट आई कुडंट डू. एंड निबंधम स्वकृतम भ्रातर, मैंने अपना जो बनाया हुआ जो लॉज है, स्टिल फॉलो द टाइमलेस लॉज आई माई सेल्फ हैव क्रिएटेड. सो मैं अपना लॉज, कर्मा का जो लॉ है वो भी फॉलो करना है, और मैं कुछ प्रोटेक्ट भी नहीं कर पा रहा हूँ. क्या करूँ, कैसे करूँ? फाइनली मैंने क्या किया पता है? So भगवान इधर बता रहे हैं, since the supreme lord is all powerful, why didn't he simply find a way to bring Gop Kumar to him sooner? The Lord establishes the laws of universe which are enunciated in the Vedas and other scriptures, and chooses to adhere to his own restrictions. As long as living entities want to control and enjoy their own world, he does not interfere. Only when they show by calling out his names, then they want to return to him, does he again reveal himself. In previous lives, Gop Kumar had never chanted the names of Lord Narayan, even unintentionally or in jest. ऐसा situation था. Had he at least vibrated a shadow of Lord's name, he could have been delivered like Ajamal. In any case, now Gop Kumar is finally returning home. So, it's a long section, and we can talk for hours and many hours on these topics. But just to conclude here is that, so we can understand how much the Supreme Lord is eager. And please know very well, obviously to cut it short, and after that Gop Kumar staying in Vaikuntha, actually his heart was not fully satisfied, because there were so many restrictions there. And Lord knew who is Gop Kumar knew who is Lord, but the atmosphere of Vaikuntha is not suitable. And hence, because there is too much of restrictions of meeting the Lord. And Gop Kumar had a spontaneous affection for Krishna. So then he chanted his mantra, and then from Vaikuntha he goes to Ayodhya, he goes to Dwarka, and more he hears about Vrindavan more deeply from Uddhava, from Narada, and so many wonderful pastimes, very confidential and intense pastimes. And finally from Dwarka, back to Vrindavan here, Bhaum Vrindavan, from a spiritual world. Back he comes to Bhaum Vrindavan, and there he performs intense Nam Sankirtan of the Supreme Lord. And what is that detailed pastime? I wish to narrate, but the time is not permitting. But maybe sometime in future we can discuss that pastime also, that how the Gop Kumar goes back to Golok Vrindavan. And as he goes to Golok Vrindavan, there are beautiful pastimes there which happens. But just I'll tell one point, that as he goes there, Krishna, who was coming back from the cowherd pastures, he was running. He saw that his friend has come. He was running, and he came and he embraced Gop Kumar. Haribol! And he told his friend that, now finally I found my friend Sarup. Gop Kumar's spiritual word name is Sarup. And then he went and he embraced his friend Sarup, which is his original name in the spiritual world. And he embraced him. And as he embraced him, he started to express his gratitude to Gop Kumar, and telling that, my dear Gop Kumar, I am so very grateful for every single sacrifice you did to attain me. So much of sacrifice you did. And Krishna started to cry tears. Krishna was crying and crying, so much crying, he wet the body of Gop Kumar and he fainted, remembering each and every sacrifice of Gop Kumar. When Krishna fainted, all the other, you can see all the gopis and other gopas, this is before fainting, this scene. But after this, what happened, I'm telling you. After that, all these gopis and all these gopas thought, who is this new guy who has come here? Who has made our Krishna faint? What happened to my Krishna? Is this trick of Kamsa? Is this some demon who is sent by Kamsa? You know, that now our Krishna is gone, and they all started to cry tears, and all entire situation became very morose. Everyone crying tears, all the cows are mooing, all the gopis are crying, all the gopas are crying. And Balramji also, momentarily he was crying, but then he immediately understood, no, you know, and he understood that actually Sarup, his friend, has come back, and remembering him, and out of gratitude, Krishna is crying. And Sarup was fully bewildered. ये क्या हो गया? मैंने क्या कर दिया? Then Balramji just told Sarup that what you do, you just pat Krishna and wake up Krishna. And then Sarup patted Krishna. Krishna saw Sarup again and became very happy and again embraced him. Haribol. And all devotees are happy that okay, nothing has happened, and Sarup is his lost friend who has come back. Haribol. And the joyous celebration happens. So Krishna was, what made Krishna faint in so much of love for the devotee is his grateful heart. So please remember that every single sacrifice you do today, Krishna remembers. And when you go back to Godhead, Krishna embraces you and tells you, my dear friend, I am very grateful for every sacrifice you do. Whether anyone else understand or not, I know what was the struggle you took up in waking up in the voice, how you slept late night, and next day morning program you had to wake up, and no one else knew that actually you slept very late, and everyone was thinking, hey Prabhu, उठ जाओ, time हो गया अभी, late हो जाओगे, महामंत्र लिखना है. And in your heart of heart you are feeling so tired, but then you got up and you took bath. You were also feeling so sick, still you came for the morning program. You did so much sacrifice, although no one else was understanding. But please, Gokumar, please, my dear friend, please remember that I knew everything else. Everything you underwent, every single time any difficulty came, and you tolerated that, and you continued your Krishna consciousness. All the struggles in your japa time, all the struggles in, even sometimes you just didn't felt like going to Mangal Aarti, that the mind was so crazy on that day, but still you decided, no, I will go to Mangal Aarti. How much you struggled and fought with your contaminated mind, and you just did everything for my pleasure. Please know that I noted every single of your sacrifice, and I am so grateful. So Krishna is noting, Krishna knows everything, and he is waiting, and he is noting, and he is grateful for every smallest of the smallest thing you do. So this voice gives you the opportunity, to revive back that original love for the Supreme Lord in the spiritual world, who is eagerly waiting for all of us back home, back to Godhead. Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Shri Krishna Bhagwan ki Jai. Hare Krishna. So we'll take prasadam, and we can take any questions or discussions there, because I even though I was supposed to end at 9 o'clock and I told 9:15, but I made it so late. So I really beg forgiveness. But please know that this sacrifice which you did today also, of extending your hunger for another 20 minutes, Krishna has noted it, and he will be very grateful for it. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. So please take prasadam, and during prasadam we can take any further discussions. Jai Shri Shri Radha Govinde Bhagwan ki Jai. Jai Shri Shri Radha Govinde Bhagwan ki Jai.